aufpassen, dass du nicht so weit
Ja.
nach vorlehnst.
Ja.
Bitte auf der Seite kleiner.
You always have somebody that says, sit up straight,
Yeah.
put on your jacket.
Is it the same with you?
Always.
Really?
Always fix your tie. Can you put a different tie on that one doesn't read well?
Okay,
and
so-
all that stuff. So,
But that's important.
yeah.
So, Mr. Schwarzenegger, you invited Greta to the summit here in Vienna via Twitter, and she tweeted back and she said, "Count me in, hasta la vista, baby." And now we are here. So, Greta has managed to do something that is very special. She has inspired so many people to go out on the street. Politicians didn't get that. So, what do you think? What has Greta got that politicians don't have?
Well, first of all, she's speaking not only to the young people, but she's speaking to everybody, including she's speaking to the politicians, because she says the way it is, which is, hey, you're not keeping your promises, you keep talking and you go from one meeting to the next meeting and you're signing all kinds of certificates and laws and this and that, and you're making a big to-do about something, but there's no action. So that's what she's saying, and I think that people woke up and they said, I mean, they listened to her, they said, yeah, there's no action. It's getting worse. You know, the heat is increasing, you know, sea levels are rising, people are dying because of pollution, water pollution, air pollution and all this stuff, and people are angry about it. So I think they're listening, and I think that she has really caught on a certain vacuum that was there, you know, that kind of rattled the cage and woke everybody up.
So, Greta, what do you think? Why do you have such a strong impact on people?
Why I have impact?
Yes.
I think that partly because I am a child, and when a child said something like "you are stealing my future," then people feel very guilty. That the message, I think, gets across more, and also that I'm using like simple logic. Why should children go to school to educate themselves for a future that might not exist anymore, while the time when we are going to be educated, they're going to be too late.
Yeah. And how is it to sit alongside Hollywood star and, I'm sorry, veteran climate campaigner Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, it feels amazing. I am very honored to be here to get the invitation.
I think the key thing here is that we all have to work together, and we have to call out those politicians that just lie and just make feeling good speeches. And they give speeches and they talk about, we're going to do this and our goal is that, and they use things like 2050. I mean, who cares about 2050 right now when we have 7 million people dying this year of pollution? Let's talk about now, not about 2050.
Okay.
Because in 2050, everything has moved on, and there's different political leaders and all this. So it's just an excuse. We in California, we said, okay, by the year 2020, we're going to reduce greenhouse gases by 25%. And we did that. We met that goal in 2018, 2 years earlier. Why? Because we knew exactly how to get there. So we had an action plan.
Okay.
So they don't have an action plan. So how are they going to get there? You don't get there by accident. You don't accomplish great things by accident. No one has ever broken a world record by accident. There's no such thing. You only can do it if you really work your ass off to get there. And that's what we want to kind of remind politicians. I was in politics myself, and I know the kind of dialogue that you hear, and with zero action, you know, and then they make it political. Is this a left-wing idea? Is this a right-wing idea? Who cares? It's a people's idea. It's a people's issue. Let's all work together. And of course, you have then the greedy manufacturers and the oil companies involved that are out there, you know, spending millions and millions of dollars to let the world know that there is really no climate change, and it's also a hoax. And it's the same people that used to work for the tobacco companies. So that's really the problem that we are facing when we talk against those big empires.
So, but let's talk about now. What do you say to the assessment of Austria and its climate protection activities?
Well, I mean, in Austria, sadly enough, Austria did not meet its goal either. So we got 30% there to the goal, but not 100%. So why make a plan when you can keep it? And where did it go wrong? I mean, where's the plan? How did Austria think? Or how did all the other countries think how they're going to get there? I want to see that plan. I guarantee there's no plan. They're just we're hoping for the best, and you cannot move forward like that. This needs a plan.
Yeah.
You know, do we need to go and say, okay, there has to be 1/3 of electric cars in Austria in the near future, in the next 10 years? Does it mean that you have to go and have a cap and trade where you include transportation? You know, you have to install more solar panels. What is the plan? I want to see the plan.
So the European elections took place on Sunday, and the right-wing parties, they made massive gains. And we know from many studies that the right-wing populists, they don't believe in climate change, they don't believe that it's man-made. So are you pessimistic about the perspective for the climate?
No, I'm actually very happy that the Green Party did very well, which is pushing for, you know, fighting climate change and fighting pollution. But I think the key thing is I think for the press and for anyone else not to fall into this trap of categorizing people. I'm a right wing. I'm a Republican, but I passed the biggest laws ever in California. So you can't put everyone in the same pot. It's a big mistake. You know, Teddy Roosevelt in America was one of the greatest presidents who put together all this public land for future generations. He was a Republican. Ronald Reagan created the Air Resources Board in California when he was governor, and he was a Republican. So, I mean, there's great work that was done by Republicans, by conservatives, and also by liberals. So I would not get in that direction. I think we just have to motivate everybody to work together. This is a people's issue. It's not a political issue.
Yes. Greta, you suffer from Asperger syndrome, and you said once, it helped me to get focused on the climate topic. But you also said, actually, I'm very shy. And I have to admit, in private, I am also very shy. But you stand in this center of attention. So many people came here to see you, and you are also nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. How do you cope with being in the center of attention like that?
I just try to ignore it. Sometimes when it's too many people, I just shut off and just be in my own bubble, so that I won't. It's too much like impressions, too many impressions, and I mean, when I am on the stage and speak to people, I focus more on the words I am actually saying than how I am delivering them, and I think that is very important because today everyone is encouraged to take more place and to speak louder and I don't want to do that. I want to take a few steps back and not take up so much space.
Mm-hmm. So, and why are you so much interested in that climate topic personally? Was there some kind of personal experience in your childhood?
Many experiences, but I've always been a bit different from others, and if I would have been like everyone else, I would have just continued like before, but now I couldn't do that. I remember watching films of plastic in the ocean and starving polar bears and so on. And I was very sad, and everyone else, my classmates, were also very sad. But when the movie was over, everyone just kept on going like before. They weren't bothered by that film, but I couldn't do that because those pictures were stuck in my head, and I got home to, I don't know how many hours I spent alone and on libraries, just reading and information. And yeah.
Okay. So if we talk about the young generation, a question for both of you. Should we start teaching in school maybe with a topic like ecological awareness? To start teaching that in school?
I mean, of course you could do that, but I think it would be better to include that aspect in all other subjects, so that we show that everything is connected.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we should teach in school, and I think that we have to teach people. And I think it's important that, for instance, the media is a very important communicator here. Mm-hmm. And I think it is important for the media to go and to lay out and to say, here is what the ordinary people can do. Mm-hmm. Because so many times ordinary people say, well, a government should do it. What power do I have? Well, that's the wrong attitude, because people power is actually more powerful than government. And so it is important when you see that the government may fail, I think they should know that you can buy an electric car. They should know that there is smart meters, that you can turn off your air conditioner or your heating system and everything during the day while you're gone. just go on the phone and you just dial it in and you can turn off heat. So there's many new technologies that are available today, to live more efficient, more energy efficient. And you have to teach this to kids. I mean, I teach this to my kids at home. I tell them, I said, don't let the shower run forever. Don't take a hot shower for more than a few minutes until you just wash yourself. Turn off the light switch when you walk out of the room. And it's all of this. And let's get a car that has not 8 cylinders but 6 cylinders, or maybe 4 cylinder. Or let's go and get an electric car. So I mean, there's all kinds of ways. So it's about education. And it's about empowering people and letting them know that they all are responsible. And that's why I said the media, I think, is a very, very good way of, like they've sometimes exercise programs in a newspaper of how someone shows you how to exercise and stay fit. You also can have a how-to. What can you do as an average person to be more energy efficient and to contribute to lowering the emissions?
Yeah. So can we still save the world?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I have a positive outlook on the whole thing, but I always look at it kind of like, when we all work together, we can do anything. But we cannot let the politicians and the public officials get away with just dialogue. I mean, we've now seen after 2015, when everyone sat down and signed COP21, the agreement that the whole world is going to reduce greenhouse gases, that the majority of countries didn't make it. So therefore, okay, how are we going to move forward now? Now we don't trust you. So now we have to push them. That's the key thing.
Greta, can we still save our world?
That depends on how you define save the world. Is it like avoiding setting off an irreversible chain reaction beyond human control? I mean, the majority of studies shows that we can still turn it around if we act now. I mean, it's possible within the laws of physics, but for that we have to change ourselves. We can't. It's not possible if we continue like this, but it's possible if we change.
Yes. So how long do you want to go on fighting? Is there a point where you would say, okay, I'm out of here now?
I always say that I am going to continue doing this until Sweden is in line with the Paris Agreement, and my demand is that the world should be in line with the Paris Agreement, and so I think, but that will take years. So we who are striking will have to prepare ourselves to go on for a very long time.
Mr. Schwarzenegger, you once said it's important to say I have a dream and to look at it, believe in it and achieve it. So what's your dream when it comes to climate crisis debate?
Well, like I said, I quoted earlier Edison, one of the greatest inventors, who said that a goal or a dream without action is hallucination. And that's exactly what it is. And so therefore I think that my dream is that we will have a world that will be safe, where we are turning back and reducing the greenhouse gases, that we find a way to come together. And I will do my power. I will do everything in my power. I'm a celebrity, and I feel like that God has given me the celebrity power to do something good with it. And so that's why I'm fighting for climate change. That's why I'm fighting for after-school programs in the United States for kids. That's why I'm fighting for Special Olympics, kids that have maybe some challenges there. And for fitness amongst people, to stay healthy and fit and to exercise and get off the couch. Or I fight for all those kind of things that I think really will contribute and make this a better world. So climate change is one of my greatest passions. So I'm on a climate change or on a environmental crusade.
May I ask you, we have very turbulent times right now in Austria, political times. What's your view of the government crisis right now?
I don't get involved in that. I think there are enough experts here to take care of the job, because everything that I say would then take away from the headline of the environmental crusade that we're on. So therefore I'm trying to stay always very focused and just talk about what am I here for? I'm here for the climate change, the fight against climate change and against pollution, and to go and try to protect the air and our water in the future. And I'm so happy that I have a very powerful crusader next to me.
Yes, that's great.
When I heard her speech months ago, I was like taken back by it, and it touched me emotionally. And I think what Greta said, that when a child talks, it just has a different impact. And I wanted to have the people here in Vienna at this international conference and the world, because we live streamed the whole thing, to have the world listen to her message. And her speech was excellent. It was a straight 10. So I want to congratulate you for the great work that you're doing.
Thank
So
you.
are you planning to do things together in the future?
Hopefully.
Hopefully, Greta?
I mean, not right now, but yeah, hopefully.
Okay. So thank you very much
Absolutely.
for taking your time. Thank you very much, Greta.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
So
very much.